Alright, we're live here in the FWL studios. We have Playboy Stevie V here. We have Commish Gabe. Yeah, I messed up my own name, that's right. But you know what? It doesn't matter that I messed up my own name, because I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm the guy. Put it on a t-shirt, stamp it, done.
I thought you were going to say, I'm not a bad guy, I'm not a good guy, I'm a fat guy. But, no, we just finished WrestleMania. You know, not today, but I mean, WrestleMania is done. Started the new season. We just had our draft. We had the Monday Night Raw after, you know, with Bullet Club debut and everything. We have a lot to talk about.
Did they actually call it Bullet Club? First of all, hold on.
No, I don't think so.
Let's save this. Let's save this. We need to talk about WrestleMania first. I was about to go on a tangent, so.
Okay.
Before we even talk about any of the matches of WrestleMania, what did you think of WrestleMania?
You know what? I had low expectations for this WrestleMania. I thought it was going to be one of the forgettable ones and stuff. And there's been a lot of people on the internet that said that this WrestleMania sucked, but I actually like this WrestleMania. They had some. I don't know if you want to talk about all the matches one by one real quick, but if you're just asking for my overall opinion of this year's WrestleMania,
overall opinion.
It was good. If I had to rank it from 1 to 10. I believe I would give it. It would be a solid 7, might be an 8.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I was surprised on how good it was because I was, like you said, not expecting much. Mm-hmm. No. And before we get into the match of WrestleMania, why don't we tell everybody about your Giant Gonzalez trading card?
Yes, every time I come over here, I get these little Easter egg things hidden kind of. When I say Easter eggs, they're just cards that somehow make their way into my wallets. I think I've gotten a Rick Steiner.
None finer.
I've gotten a Lex Luger, and it looks
the total package.
Looks like today I got Elegante. These are the worst cards ever.
All right, I'm gonna start.
I'd be really mad if this was. Did you buy this? Did this? I'm just assuming that all this came in one pack. You know, these cards. And you have more cards to give me too. So I'm somebody who's gonna be walking over to the store and go, I'm going to buy some wrestling cards. And in my pack, I get Elegante, Rick Steiner, Lex. That would be the worst pack ever.
Let me tell you a story about, hold on, let's tell everybody. These are WCW trading cards, vintage trading cards. And they were bought way back in the day before even Nitro existed.
God, aren't we going to feel like idiots when
one
day we look it up on the internet and they're worth 10 grand or something?
Hold on. Let me finish this story. And I had them unopened, and just this year, I was like, it's time. And I did the price check, and for a packet of these bad boys, I was going to make 50 cents. Nailed it. Good thing I saved those things, huh?
Jeez. You know what? That's just, terrible. 50 cents.
There's nobody good in these things. I literally had nobody good in these things. I think I had DDP one. That was the best person that I had. But there was no Hogan, nothing. It was all garbage, like El Gigantica or whatever his name is.
Elegante.
I think I had one with, oh, come on. What is wrong with me? The Stormtrooper helmet that was all glittery.
Oh, yeah, Shockmaster.
Yeah, I think I had one of the Shockmaster. That's coming your way. All right, let's get to WrestleMania here. First of all, my biggest complaint about WrestleMania is the United States title match was on the kickoff show, and on top of that, it started so early that there was literally nobody in the Coliseum.
Yeah, that was terrible. I don't know why. I'm speechless. You want to make your champions, I would think, look strong, so why not have them on the actual card? I mean, pre-card, United States Championship match, some people are rolling in their graves right now because of that. And, yeah, it should have been on the main show. I'm not saying that the match was, spectacular, because, I saw the match. It was, SmackDown quality to me, but it's the United States Championship. It needs to be defended.
When WrestleMania was going on, I was barbecuing, and I didn't even know the match was starting.
Yeah, I didn't know why it started so early either. I really didn't. I'm thinking maybe, I'm just off the top of my head, maybe Dallas was trying to get more people to get inside earlier.
I think it's obvious that Dallas, or they had it in Dallas, that's where it was?
Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah,
it
it was,
San Antonio?
yeah. No, it's not San Antonio. I think it was like Arlington. It's around there. It's where the Cowboys play.
Well,
But you remember they kind of did that to us at our WrestleMania. Remember they started that Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship match way before the um, kickoff show was supposed to. We were outside drinking beer and we heard Cesaro and Kids theme and we're like, what's going on? Like there is no match. And then you start hearing the people announcing and you're like, what? And we ran in. So maybe they're doing it because of that.
Let's just sum it up right now. They had the kickoff match with Kalisto, who's the champion, in Texas because Texas is racist. Let's go to the next match. We have the Divas 10-man tag team kickoff. I have nothing to say about this. What about you?
I.
All right,
Waste of time.
And then this, okay. Here's how these kickoff matches should have been. If they had to have the United States title, we got the kickoff match that nobody was in the arena for. Should have been the 10 Divas tag match because nobody cared. Then it should have been the Usos and the Dudleys, and then the championship match. Anyways, what did you think of the Usos Dudleys?
You know what? I don't really remember the match. I know who won, but it didn't really draw me in too much. I didn't really care about what was happening with that match. I didn't. I mean, I love the Dudley Boys. I still think, people argue with me all the time, but I think they're the best tag team of all time.
Excuse me?
Oh, wait. Blake and Murphy.
Okay.
Second. But I don't know why I wasn't into this match too much. I just really wasn't.
I don't. It was very, very, very predictable. I didn't even think.
The next one is unpredictable.
Oh yeah. Let's move on. Now we have WrestleMania starting with the Intercontinental Championship ladder match. And I was really bummed out that it wasn't just Sami Zayn, and we talked about this last time, and Kevin Owens, but it actually turned out to be a pretty good match.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a good match. All these guys can wrestle. I was in shock when Zack Ryder won, but yeah, I didn't want all these people in this Intercontinental ladder match. I wanted, just like you said, to be Owens and Zayn. And it seems like the WWE writers are getting... I hate this. The second year in a row, or is it third that they've done this? They've had the exact same match for the Intercontinental Championship. Because remember Daniel Bryan at the one that we were in?
Yeah, it might be the third.
Lazy story writing. They just can't or don't care about writing a storyline for all these people, so they just bunch them all up in one match at WrestleMania.
Now, for our listeners, right now, we're going to cut real fast to last podcast when somebody predicted who was going to win this match.
Fantastic. They turned that into me really looking forward to it now to I don't even give a shit about this match.
No. All right, who do you call wins?
I think Owens retains.
No doubt, Zack Ryder. I told you.
Oh my God. Yep.
No doubt, Zack Ryder.
For that, you win an Elegante card.
That's your card. That's a gift to you. When you are in the prestigious FWL studios, you get a WCW collector's card, and you can take it home. You can do whatever you want with it.
I'm definitely gonna jack off to it. That's what I'm gonna do.
Why not? So, why do you think? And since Raw has already happened, why do you think they had Zack Ryder win and then immediately lose it to The Miz?
I have no idea, but my kooky theory is that Zack Ryder just would not stop complaining about not being pushed. Like, I do all this stuff, I work so hard, I never get pushed, blah, 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 all the time. And he must have a friend somewhere that just doesn't want to fire him. That they finally went, fine. Okay, tonight you're winning the championship. And then as soon as he won, he celebrated with his dad. Woo, yay! Everyone's all happy for him. The very next day, they go, okay, you're losing it to The Miz.
By the way,
we pushed you at WrestleMania, so shut the hell up.
Zack Ryder's dad looks like he could basically beat up Zack Ryder and The Miz probably at the same time.
Yeah, he definitely looks like one of those old guys that would chase you away from the poolside when you're hitting on his daughter, but he's like really kind of yoked and stuff, kind of a guy.
What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do with Kevin Owens? Are they just gonna set him up with a feud with Sami Zayn?
You know what? They're gonna do whatever they want with Kevin Owens. I mean, I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but this week's Raw, that was almost like the Kevin Owens show.
Oh yeah.
The whole show revolved around him. So there's a lot of stuff they can do with Kevin Owens. You know what? I hope they just keep doing what they're doing right now with him and Sami Zayn. They hate each other. You get them in matches sometimes, but they constantly, as soon as they're face to face, they just start throwing down.
Yeah.
Every time they just jump each other for the rest of their careers. That would be one of the greatest feuds ever. If they would just do that for the rest of their careers, then they can both go into the Hall of Fame, and then right when they're up on the stage, just start fighting again.
I think that I speak for everyone when I say that I want Sami Zayn to get powerbombed through more tables by Kevin Owens during promos.
Every interview. Every interview. Yeah, but I mean, dude, this has to be one of my, for a long time, my favorite feud. Almost, this could be, when it's all said and done, my most favorite feud of all time. But that's kind of hard because I'm comparing that to what my favorite feud of all time right now is. If you would ask me, it's Stone Cold McMahon feud.
Yeah. So Zack Ryder, with his Zack Ryder terrible gimmick, right now they're pushing tag teams hard. Why in the hell aren't the Hype Bros?
I bet you we'll see them in this tournament. Did they already announce everybody in the tournament?
Yeah, they sure did.
The Hype Bros are in it?
Not even. The Ascension was in it though, so bank on them.
I don't know why they're not on the main roster. Because I think Mojo Riley can, Rowley or whatever, I think he could get over big right now with the fans. I mean, the fans are really into that freaking kooky over-the-top gimmicks right now.
Since we're in the conversation of tag teams, right? So, call it. Who's winning the tag team tournament to face the New Day at Payback?
I don't really know. I mean, I'll have to think about it. I don't know. Who do you think?
The Ascension, obviously.
If they win, oh my god.
All right, well,
I'm putting all my money on the Ascension just because you called Zack Ryder.
We'll come back to it then. Oh, this was one of my favorite matches of the night. It was Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles.
I don't know. It wasn't my favorite match, meaning that I don't think this was the best match on the card by far. I mean, I was a little disappointed in it. I don't know. I just kind of was. I was expecting more, but I am definitely not disappointed with the results.
Yeah,
I am so glad that Jericho went over.
Yeah, it's about time.
Because he was one step away to being irrelevant in the ring for me. I mean, because if AJ Styles would have went over, it would have ruined it. It was just every time Jericho gets in the ring, I know he's going to lose. He's a jobber. But no, I like how he went over. I like how he's pushing the heel thing again, because heel Jericho is the best thing ever. And I like that he beat AJ Styles. It's not going to hurt AJ Styles at all.
He's talking so much smack on Raws and everything, and just how much better he is. It was pretty good. It looks like they are setting up Jericho Ambrose. It was pretty good on Raw when Jericho had the highlight reel and Ambrose came out with his plant and took over the show.
And you know what? I really, really, really have not been a fan of these wrestling talk shows in the middle of the thing. I mean, I used to love, like, Pipers, hated The Miz, hated Christians. I really didn't even like Edge's that much. It was, but I bet you I can really get into an Ambrose talk show like that, because Ambrose is awesome. And
it would just be mayhem.
Yeah, it would be an awesome talk show. It really would. It would be like going back to Piper's Pit, getting hit with the coconut every time, or going there and getting beat up like your Cactus Jack or something. But yeah, I like that Jericho won, so I was happy for him, dude. I love Chris Jericho, so I always have. I don't think he gets as much credit as a lot of people like to give him, but good for Chris Jericho. Finally got a WrestleMania win. What was it? Maybe after like 8 years or something.
And now AJ Styles has to wrestle Roman Reigns for the title at Payback. He's gonna lose another pay-per-view, second in a row.
He'll lose it, but he'll get screwed. That's just my thing. Out of it somehow. Somehow he's gonna get screwed out of it. Because I think Reigns is turning heel. After.
What exactly is your definition of heel?
Traditional heel.
Because he's just been getting booed out of every single call.
I understand what you're saying, but you know, traditional heel. Finally, with doing all, I think it's going to happen after this one, and it's going to be, unfortunately, on the head of AJ Styles. It's not going to hurt his momentum because just something. Something's going to happen to AJ Styles. Someone's going to jump in, interfere, and help Reigns.
Well, Roman Reigns, he's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's the guy. Let's move on. This was complete steamy pile of shit.
Yeah.
The League of Extraordinary Jobbers beats the New Day?
Yeah, and even after New Day had a great intro and everything, these guys, the League of Nations on there, didn't deserve to win
No.
at WrestleMania.
And since they did win, I lost the fantasy wrestling season.
Oh, man.
Way to go, Jobbers. God!
Mm-hmm.
And they jumped Barrett out on Raw, too.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody really noticed.
Oh, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Tick, 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 tick. It's ticking away for you, Rusev. You're about to get jumped out next.
Yes, you are. It's just all break up, do their own things again, because it's...
I can see Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio being a tag team. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, neither do I.
But I can definitely see Rusev staying on the unemployment line. I don't think he would get hired at McDonald's. I wouldn't want him making my hamburgers. He'd mess it up. He'd botch it. Because he sucks. He's terrible.
Yeah, he is. He's terrible. Just to back up for a second, just a quick question, because it went through my head right now. Do you think that the WWE would actually try to do this at this next pay-per-view? And do you think that they think that it would work for Roman Reigns? Is if somehow they got The Rock to screw AJ Styles during the match?
I don't think that The Rock would ever do that.
You don't think so?
Nope. I think that they would piss you out to get The Rock, and Rock would be like, no.
After the one time you tried to push him at the Rumble and got like trash through at him and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And especially since The Rock's running for president next election, I guess. And
I wonder if he's going to be a Democrat. Then we get Stone Cold to run as a Republican.
Oh man, awesome promos to turn out in all-out brawls. All right, Street Fight. Now this is another head scratcher. Although it was a good match, a really good match, I don't see any reason why Brock Lesnar had to beat Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, unless the WWE just wants to keep making him as the complete beast monster and everything like that. But yeah, I thought Ambrose needed the win more, but I don't know. In the long run, Ambrose is going to be a Hall of Famer if he doesn't really hurt himself bad. But I was actually, again, was really looking forward to this match, and it kind of let me down. I thought a lot more mayhem was going to happen than what actually did happen.
I thought it was a good match.
I'm not saying it was a bad match. I was expecting more. I was expecting some Brock Lesnar suplexing through the plate glass window like Shane and Angle and stuff like that.
Well, since we're talking about Shane McMahon, let's talk about the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, this completely made no fucking sense whatsoever.
What was the point?
I don't know what the point was. Okay, and Shane's now the GM of Raw anyways.
Oh, hold on. Let's give kudos to Shane.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Jumped off the top of the Hell in a Cell.
Did it look like to everybody else that Hell in a Cell was taller than normal too? I was thinking that Mick Foley was back there pissed off because Shane went back there and said, yeah, well, I jumped 5 more feet more than you did, so I'm now the hardcore legend.
I can't believe he didn't die. That was crazy. So, Shane McMahon?
Yep.
Yeah. I knew he was going to do something crazy. We both did. Everybody did. So, but I just don't get why The Undertaker won. What's the point of that?
No, yeah, and I was expecting more interference and stuff. I was thinking a lot of cool stuff was going to happen, like Sting show up
Sting. Sting is not showing up.
Just
Sting
something.
Is
They
done.
needed something more with that match. They just needed something. They needed because it was Raw was on the line. They need to have people come out to help Shane and people to come out to help Undertaker. It just, I don't know. I thought they missed a big opportunity there.
I feel like something happened. There was a big story in the match, and when WrestleMania happened, somebody missed their fight or something. Something happened, so they were just like, let's just have Undertaker win. That's the only explanation I can think of.
It's WrestleMania. They could have had the Mean Street Posse of all people. Everyone would have marked out.
If came out, I would have marked the hell out.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done a lot of goofy stuff, and I just don't think they did everything that they could. They could have jumped Undertaker at one point during the match, and then Undertaker during the match could beat him up, and then they just lay on the ground. Just something. But
Shane McMahon it made no sense that he didn't win. It made 0 sense. I don't understand.
Oh, now the main event of the night: The Rock versus Eric Rowan. Oh, I skipped something, but okay.
The Rock versus Eric Rowan. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the fans online. What in the hell is wrong with you people?
What, with the Rock and Rowan?
That whole segment.
I didn't find anything really wrong with it. It was, The Rock was going to show up. He almost botched his flamethrower, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
And he looked like at one point he looked at the barrel. That would have been pretty great if he lit himself on fire and ran up to the ring. And everyone just would have been cheering as he's burning. No, okay.
But let's talk about what happened after The Rock won.
That's not where... Is that where Stone Cold and...
Yeah, it's the Wyatt family came out.
No, that was during the League of Extraordinary Jobbers.
Oh, how did we skip that?
Yeah, it was a League of Extraordinary Jobbers.
Right. Oh.
Yeah, everyone was bitching about Stone Cold Steve Austin being fat. They said he looked fat.
How dare you people? Austin's music hits and you immediately go online and complain. This is why you don't get nice things.
And me and the commissioner are going to disagree on it, but I disagree on this. But Shawn Michaels looked like he could still go. He still looked like in wrestling shape and stuff. But
hey, yeah, he can show up and just totally kill WWE. Put him down the toilet again.
I'm not saying he should come back. I'm saying he still looked like he looked when he retired. But
yeah, I agree.
Of course,
he looked terrible. Good call. I totally agree.
With the Rock and Eric Rowan thing, that's where Cena came out.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Cena couldn't go WrestleMania without being part of it.
Oh, he was scaring us, thinking that he was going to win the Battle Royal.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's talk about the Battle Royal then.
Yeah, I was surprised Baron Corbin won.
Very surprised.
But bravo to the WWE. I like that they didn't give it to Kane or someone like that.
Bravo WWE. I had a way to book Shaq in the match.
Oh man. But at least they took care of the Big Show, because no one wanted Big Show to win again either.
Oh god.
Hey, but I hear that they're hyping up a next WrestleMania match between Shaq and
awful.
God, I hope it's an Iron Man match.
Oh god, so awful.
Yeah, I mean, who the fuck wants to see that? I mean, who does? And you can just tell what's going to happen. Is Big Show's going to job out to another celebrity again.
I'll be glad Baron Corbin went over. That guy is such a jerk, and everyone hates him. It's perfect.
Yeah, he's a great heel. I like him too.
Yep. WWE World Heavyweight Title match. I guess it just went down like everybody thought it was going to go down.
Yeah, I was really hoping. Again, that match kind of let me down because I thought there was going to be a lot of shenanigans too, just like it was with the Shane and Undertaker match. I mean, like I was calling with that. HBK coming out because it was a no DQ match. HBK coming out, Rock coming out.
Sweet ass Triple H intro though.
Yes.
And Stephanie was smoking.
Yes.
People were saying that was something to Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yeah, they called it the Mortal Kombat Annihilation intro.
I don't even...
I've stopped paying attention to Mortal Kombat since after Mortal Kombat 2, guys, and that's been like 400 years ago. So.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation was the second movie.
Yeah.
I have like 4 copies of the DVD, too.
I think maybe they're trying to compare her to... what was it? Sidel? Is that what her name was? That
Sidel,
witch?
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. I don't know what they were talking about. So.
And Triple H as whatever his name, Shao Kahn.
Yeah, I guess
I can see that one.
Oh, it was a cool intro.
Even if it wasn't, it was just it was a good intro.
All the people in the skulls and everything.
Every year, that's one thing, everyone, I've already said it, but likes to bash Triple H, and I think Triple H is one of the best ever. And, it's getting to a point, too, where I still think Triple H can still wrestle, but it's almost like I look more forward to what his WrestleMania entrance is going to be every year. It's kind of like, you have like the Undertaker streak, which is done, and another thing that I like is, hey, I wonder what Triple H is going to do, his intro this year.
Triple H looked jacked, too. Like bigger than normal.
Yep.
So, I mean, you know what? Now it's time to talk about the main event of WrestleMania, the WWE Women's Championship Triple Threat match.
Well, you know what? And this is saying a lot, too, because I ranked WrestleMania like a 7, maybe an 8. But this is also first WrestleMania, and that I thought the women's match was the best match on the entire card.
Definitely the best.
It's amazing.
Match.
This has been the best that I've ever seen women's wrestling ever. It just has been.
Thank God they're calling it the women's championship now.
Yeah, I don't really care, but the new belt looks sweet though.
Yeah, it looks way better. Divas championships are stupid. Just calling them divas was dumb.
I like the ending. I called Charlotte with Ric Flair helping, and that's kind of what happened. The only thing I was disappointed in is I was hoping they'd all kick Ric Flair's ass at the end.
It's coming.
Though. But man, did you see Becky Lynch's eye?
Oh
next row?
yeah. Man, she got it bad.
Yeah, great match. I mean, I think that was
they
the
were
best
jumping
match on
over the top rope to the outside, doing all this crazy stuff. You don't even see people doing that. Would you see Big Show doing that or anything?
God, I'd hate to have to take that bump.
Hey, catch me, guys! Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that great match. Great match. Everybody was into it. The fans were going crazy. And man, Sasha Banks is so over.
Yeah, she had a great intro
She
too.
did.
I usually don't like it when celebrities come out and do that with wrestlers, but the Snoop Dogg intro and everything was okay. I mean, I liked it. And I also liked Charlotte's intro with her new little robe and stuff.
The robe was sweet. I'm telling you, I think Charlotte's been one of my favorite parts of the main WWE roster.
Well, definitely Ric Flair, though.
Well, yeah, coming out dancing, going crazy. That's what he gets ready to in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah. He's all dancing in the mirror, getting ready for it. Okay, and we saved the NXT TakeOver show for right now because I think that show was a lot better than WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was a really good show.
The crowd was crazy jacked.
When the worst match of the night was could possibly be Aries or Corbin or American Alpha and Revival, because that match had a lot of botches, but those two are probably arguably the worst matches on the entire card, and those matches itself were really freaking good. They were pretty damn good matches.
I'm glad that they cut the Apollo Crews match. That would have been trash.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who he was supposed to wrestle.
The Drifter.
Oh yeah, the homeless guy.
Is it Elias Young or something like that? I don't know.
I don't
Elias
remember.
Yeah, it's a guy who's homeless.
Yeah, homeless guitar player.
Look at it, they're just going to drop that whole angle because Apollo Crews made his debut on Raw.
What a waste. Out of all these people we're about to talk about, Apollo Crews with no charisma gets pushed to the main roster.
And maybe I shouldn't read into the rumors about who's going to be called up, because it's been said all year it was going to be Samoa Joe, and it was Apollo Crews. So
Samoa Joe's terrible. Let's talk about this. The show opened up with the Revival versus American Alpha. That match was awesome.
it was awesome.
And to be completely honest with you, I'm not a big fan of the Revival. I wasn't until I saw that. The crowd was insane.
Yeah, I haven't been a big fan of the Revival either, but I had a revelation when I was watching them. Yeah, boom. When I was watching them saying, how can they get over on the main roster? And I was thinking, my thing is, man, it brings Zeb Coulter back and have these guys just be some right-wing redneck
Trailer
park guys that are with Zeb as their mouthpiece right there. They'd get over big.
Wearing Trump shirts right now.
Yeah. And you know if they did that, they'd be so over everywhere they went in the United States. Like if they go like to New York, they're going to get booed out of the arena. If they go down south, like to Georgia and stuff, people are going to cheer for them.
Let's get a Mexico tour.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. But since we're talking about tag teams, let's talk about Blake and Murphy.
Yeah, you got to talk about Blake and Murphy. That's the only thing that was missing from this pay-per-view.
Now,
this pay-per-view would have been a 10, but it's a 9.5 because of no Blake and
exactly.
Murphy.
We got a special treat for you right now since we're talking about Blake and Murphy. We heard from the rumor mill that Blake and Murphy are being brought up to the main roster, and our sources have told us what their intro is going to be like.
Yes, their intro. I have the timeline, but the commissioner has the details. But from what I understand, it's a 15-minute intro.
Right.
And then they get in the ring. They ring the bell. Schoolboy the guy. 1, 2, 3. 15-minute outro.
Right. Okay, so this is what it's supposed to be like. First of all, we have Michael Cole saying whatever monotonous shit that he's talking about. I'm Michael Cole, and then his mic goes, here we go. I'll do, hi, I'm Michael Cole, and blah, blah, blah. I think something's wrong with my mic, and then the lights start flickering. And then all of a sudden, just everything goes. And then you know how Gangrel had his intro where he rose up from the bottom? Okay, so we have both of those on each side of the stage. And surrounding those are a red light, a blue light, and they switch colors but in unison. So it's starting to go around, and then it's just doing that, and smoke starts shooting up from these holes out of nowhere, and the smoke is colored too with lights that are underneath the stage. And, excuse me, and all of a sudden, bam, their music hits, and they get rose up. They're wearing these crazy face masks that extend and come back to their face, but when they extend, it extends and blows out colored smoke. They have big shoulder pads and everything, and on the Titantron, it has a camera on their face, so you're seeing first person what they're looking at, except it's robot style, and it's zooming in on certain fans and giving descriptions on stuff, because somebody in the backstage is doing that. They get up, boom, they raise up, and they start walking towards each other, and while they're walking towards each other, every time they step on the ramp is a Titantron. So it's starting to do crazy video stuff every time they walk, and it doesn't disappear, it just they keep doing it, and they get close to each other, and they hit each other wrists. Okay, when the Monday Night Wars were happening, do you remember when Raw would kick off, and they would blow up the stage with pyro?
Absolutely.
Okay, when they hit each other's wrist, bam! There it is, like a 5-minute pyro, boom, 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 and then the stage ramp. And do you remember NXT Brooklyn with Liger?
Okay.
You remember they had the intro ramp and the video?
Yeah.
They have that, and all that just starts going, and it pulses and changes colors to their music. And now we're starting with the Undertaker smoke. It's starting to come down to the ring, and they're walking down with the camera, first person view and everything, and they get to the end of the ring, and they stand on a lift, but you don't see the lift, and the lift raises them up to the ring. And they get up to the ring, and they do their taunt, and they look at each other, and they do the wrist thing again. Boom, 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 boom. Pyro everywhere. All types of pyro. You know, like when HBK did his flex, that pyro. The Kane pyro. When X-Pac did his, that pyro. All the pyro. And they get
Kane pyro.
Yeah, everything. Yeah. And they get into the ring, duck a clothesline, schoolboy, pin, 1, 2, 3, same outro. You're welcome.
That sounds amazing.
Of course it does.
The only thing that would have been better in that is if they came out one at a time.
Oh yeah, I think the dual intro has to happen, but you know, I'm sure they'll have a feud and that will happen. It'll be like half a Raw. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Okay. Anyways, back to the NXT card. We have American Alpha won the championship, so that's good because Chad Gable's awesome.
Yeah, I love Chad Gable. Good match. I thought that American Alpha was going to get called up to the main roster soon, so I didn't think they were going to win the championship, but they did, so maybe they're going to carry that tag division for a little bit, because I just saw Vaudevillains and Enzo and Cass made their debuts. So
oh, man, poor Vaudevillains.
Why would... Have they been jobbing?
No, you just have no crowd reaction.
Oh, yeah, on SmackDown. I hope that just wasn't... I hope they're just a lame crowd.
I hope so, too.
But they really didn't. It was like people were sitting there like, what the fuck is this? And it's kind of like... And to me, I think... I get mad at people like that, because it's like... You're watching WWE, how do you not know who these NXT people are? You know, kind of thing. But people could do whatever they want.
I just don't think they're going to get over.
You're going to ascension them?
I think so. They would get over big on any indie fed.
Well, as long as... My opinion of the Vaudevillains is, if they don't get over, as long as they keep Aiden English around, I'm good with that. Because Aiden English was a pretty solid heel in NXT by himself before Simon Gotch came around. So, and I've seen some Aiden English matches, and they're pretty good. And he has charisma. So,
all right. Well, we have Austin Aries versus Baron Corbin.
So happy. Oh, that's right. I'm happy Baron Corbin went to the main roster, but I'm not too happy that Austin Aries won because I wanted to troll all the indie fans because they all would have cried if Baron Corbin won. But the match was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
Well, it was only pretty good because of the rest of the card. If
Yeah.
it was on WrestleMania, it would have been amazing.
Yeah. I have no complaints about the match.
I was hoping it was going to happen and the crowd was going to be like, 1, 2, 3,
Oh yeah,
4 Baron Corbin.
in the days. Yeah.
Bam! In 2 seconds, and then we would have saw the internet cry.
Yes.
That's what I was hoping for. Baron Corbin's, I think he's awesome.
He's a great heel. I
Yeah.
like him. And I don't really have anything else to say about that match. I mean, I want to talk to death about some of the other ones, but
Well, since you want to talk more about that, let's talk more about Baron Corbin.
yeah, man, his debut on Raw. You know, looks like he's going to be on the Raw roster here. I hope he really, really, really gets the crowd to hate him, kind of like how Kevin Owens has done so far, because he's a good heel. He is. And me, you know, of course, I always have people that, you know, they argue with me about what I think and stuff, but first time I saw Baron Corbin in NXT, and a lot of people still don't like him, but when I saw him, he reminded me of Undertaker when the Undertaker was a youngster, when he was Mean Mark Calloway. I mean, he just carried himself like that, and I mean, the only thing Baron Corbin's missing from his arsenal is being able to walk on the rope. I mean, other than that, he can do all of Undertaker's moves. And his intro is almost basically the same anyways. He just kind of like looks at the ground and then looks up. So, yeah.
Baron Corbin probably needs to join Hair Club for Men. That's my only complaint about him.
Yeah, he's going to look super weird if he has to shave his head.
Mm-hmm. I think he's just not. I think he's going to Hogan it.
He's going to Hogan it? You got Hogan it then. Just Hogan it.
All right, NXT Women's Championship match. Asuka versus Bayley.
God, another really great women's match. Women's wrestling is just getting really good. What used to be piss break matches are now starting to become the must-see matches. But Asuka, I think they're going to push her really hard. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow she wasn't holding the NXT and women's championship at the same time.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call.
That
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I almost picked her on our draft thing. I was really thinking about it, but I didn't want to take 2 chances. But Bayley dropped the belt. I kind of thought that she was, because I think she's going to be called up to the main roster here pretty soon.
Yeah, probably. I was glad that Asuka beat Bayley. I'm not a huge Bayley fan. I don't get it. Cause
She's the John Cena of kind of like women. That's what it is. I mean, the kids really like her. I mean, that's what it is. I'm not saying I love her or anything like that, but
I feel like
she's had some pretty good matches too.
I feel about Bayley what you feel about Paige. So
Like what the hell's the big deal?
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So and I really like Asuka, and she's smoking hot too.
I like Asuka too.
So yeah,
And it's her Japanese character. I mean, her character. She is, you know, Japanese and stuff. And I don't know if she speaks English or not. But she's been getting over with not even having really to do promos, just by the way she looks.
And she has a sweet intro too.
Yeah. So just imagine how over she'd be if she was. I'm assuming that she doesn't speak English fluently, but if she did, if she can cut a promo too. But I've heard a lot of rumors that Paul Heyman mentioned that he might be bringing up a Paul Heyman girl. That's what he called it. And very first person went through my mind was Asuka.
Why not just start a stable?
Yeah, you know, I don't understand. I'm thinking it might happen too, because I could see Paul Heyman sooner or later here might represent the Dudleys at something. They're all ECW guys.
He should be managing a group of 5 or 7 people.
Yeah, he did that in the old WCW, and it got over really good. He had the Dangerous Alliance.
It can be something like how the NWO or Bullet Club is without the extreme measures that NWO pulled where the whole roster was NWO.
Yeah.
Like, it can be like, listen, I have all the powerful people in wrestling, so you're going to cater to us more.
Could have Seth Rollins.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah, dude, I totally love that storyline and that situation if he did that. I'm not against that at all. That sounds like a sweet idea. we really should just talk about the NXT Championship match because that's not in my book, even though it came on last, wasn't the main event.
Well, it wasn't because Samoa Joe was in it, and Samoa Joe was terrible.
Oh, jeez. God, he hates Samoa Joe. I so hope Samoa Joe gets me some points.
I'm hoping to God that Samoa Joe gets brought up to the main roster so he can fail miserably and go back to TNA.
And have to live with me because
Yeah.
I picked him, because them's on the rules. It's like a little thing at the bottom where if you pick Samoa Joe, he gets to live with you for the rest of the season.
What did you think of this match?
What, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe?
Yeah.
Pissed me off that they kept stopping the match to stop Samoa Joe from bleeding.
What was the point of that? Come on.
I don't know, but even the crowd let him bleed, and they had some pretty cool footage. I'll find it for you. But they had live. I mean, they have footage of the McMahons, just with not Vince, at this NXT event, and watching. And when Samoa Joe was bleeding, Shane McMahon's kids were all up going, let him bleed, let him bleed. And we're chanting some of the curse words, too.
Oh.
And Linda McMahon was watching the match. And everyone else, it seems like in the family, would like the match, like the blood. And it was Linda, you could see it on there, where she was just kind of, no, I don't like this. We need to calm stuff down, kind of thing.
Oh, jeez.
So it might all be her fault, but I don't know why they didn't. They should have just let him bleed.
They should have.
Just let him bleed.
That kind of ruined the match.
It did, because it made it look like, to me, like the only reason why Finn Balor won was because they kept stopping the match to tend to Samoa Joe. Because Samoa Joe wanted to keep going, and he was whooping Finn Balor's ass for a long time, and then...
Yeah, they needed to stop the match because Samoa Joe's a big, fat, out-of-shape guy, so they kept letting him get breathers. Unfair for Finn Balor. If the match would have kept going,
he's
would have been
Samoan.
done.
What's a brother supposed to do? If you're Samoan, you're just...
You can be Samoan and be good, like the other Samoans.
I mean, don't point to The Rock and say, well, he's Samoan. No, that's the body that he has is from his dad, and that dude was a black dude.
And Umaga, awesome. And guess what? They were double the size of Samoa Joe. But Samoa Joe has a more unstoppable monster gimmick.
Yokozuna.
Yeah, but of course Samoa Joe's a monster. He's unstoppable. So let's stand Samoa Joe right next to one of those guys, if they're still alive.
Oh, yeah. Well, Yokozuna, as soon as my brain went straight to Yokozuna. I know that he died early because he was hella freaking big and fat. That's what happened, but man, that guy was awesome.
Oh, yeah,
you talk about a monster heel right there. That dude could throw some super kicks and everything. But anyways, I digress.
Oh no, Finn Balor wins.
Yep.
No surprise there because Samoa Joe's a huge.
Yeah, I thought the Bullet Club was going to show up for Finn Balor during the NXT thing.
They're saving Finn Balor for something huge. And I'm just waiting to see what it's going to be.
Maybe. Oh, here's another crazy conspiracy. I read rumors before that they wanted Finn Balor to be on the main roster already. But Finn Balor says, I don't want to go to the main roster. I want to stay in NXT because the main roster sucks.
That sounds like an internet trash rumor.
Okay. But this is just a conspiracy thing. Well, what if that really actually happened, but so now they're trying to entice Balor to coming to the main roster because they just automatically put AJ Styles, Gallows, and Anderson on the main roster.
And Bullet Club shows up on Raw, too. So apparently we were reading, and we were watching it live. And there's articles that said that there was Bullet Club chants while that was happening. Did you hear that? 'Cause I didn't hear that.
No, I didn't hear it either. I'm sure they were. But, it probably depends on where you're sitting. Man, if I'm at a Coliseum reporting all this stuff and I have about maybe 20 people, right behind me or something chanting Bullet Club, but nobody else is, I'm not going to really know that the whole crowd wasn't chanting it.
It doesn't matter where you're sitting. If you're watching it on TV and you can't hear the chant, it didn't happen. Yeah.
Okay.
So...
Because we've been to one of those NXT events, and it's if you want to start a chant, it's really hard because everyone's so freaking loud. But
yeah. Well, let's talk about Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. Good God.
One of the best matches I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
How over is Nakamura? Jeez.
You know, I've seen a couple Nakamura matches from in Ring of Honor and one in New Japan, and I just didn't know, how he's going to get over here in the United States. But it seems like, let's hope when he goes to the main roster, he's just as over. I'm hoping because NXT seems to know a little bit more about wrestling than the people on watching Raw, because people like on Raw and SmackDown didn't even know who the freaking vaudevillains were. You know what I mean? But people that watch NXT don't know all this stuff. But he was over for the NXT crowd, and him and he needed to win that match just because it's his debut. It's not going to hurt Sami Zayn at all. The match was just extraordinary. It was good. It was hard hitting.
Nakamura tore Sami Zayn's head off with the Bomboye.
Yeah, I still haven't been able to even know how to pronounce that. But maybe I'll just call it the Flying Gingsu knee.
Gingsu knee? What the hell is
Yeah,
that?
remember those Gingsu knives that they always used to advertise them on TV about being the sharpest knives ever?
What was this? Was this like in the 70s?
No, it wasn't in the 70s.
Were you sure it wasn't on the radio? Did you have a TV when it was happening?
Yeah, I had to pay a nickel and I saw it on a reel somewhere. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. Obviously, no one knows what Gingsu is. But yeah, it was a great match. Got no complaints about it. And I know I'm going to give it up to Sami Zayn, too, because the very first time my dad, and he's been watching wrestling his entire life, too. And if you imagine how old I am, and you know how farther he goes back. But he's a pretty stubborn guy when it comes to who he likes and who he doesn't in wrestling. If he sees somebody and he doesn't like them, that's usually his opinion for the rest of this guy's career. He just doesn't like the guy. He doesn't usually change it. But I've never really seen a guy that he didn't like, now he likes kind of thing. You know what I mean? But when my dad very first saw Sami Zayn, it was at not this WrestleMania, but last year's WrestleMania. He saw him make his return over in that NXT show. Didn't have a match or anything, but my dad saw the crowd going crazy for Sami Zayn, and he's like, this guy's lame. He has a lame look, a lame entrance song. I mean, what is this, mariachi music? What is this guy's deal? He was like that, and but Sami Zayn, I'm giving it up to Sami Zayn because more and more my dad kept watching Sami Zayn, the more and more he told me how much he started to how much he likes him, and now every time I talk to him about wrestling, Sami Zayn's name will eventually come up out of his mouth.
He loves that guy now.
So I mean, dude, you sold him, and that's hard. That's hard. I mean, for me, I change my opinion every so often. I mean, Mojo Rawley hated that guy. I like him in the Hype Bros now. So
if a wrestler turns good, I'll change my opinion. I'm not going to be stuck on something. Well, we're basically out of time.
Oh.
So let me just throw some things.
No, we didn't even get to talk about the draft.
No, we'll have to do it next time when we talk about Payback.
Yeah.
Because
we'll have more material.
Yeah. But we're already over. Let me just throw some things at you. Okay, number one, Shinsuke Nakamura shows up. His music gets released for download. Number one download in the whole world. Amazing. That blows my mind.
Amazing, because I don't even think his intro music's that good.
Number one played song on Spotify in the world, and when it released, it was the number one, and it still is right now.
That's amazing. And it can't be because his intro music's good, because I don't think it's that great. It must be just because how popular and over he is.
Maybe people outside of America are just like, this is my jam.
Maybe. Great Khali song's not number one anymore in India.
Not anymore. Well, that's pretty much it. You got anything else that we can throw out real fast? Oh yeah,
no.
So he is a jobber, but I guess let's call Joe
a
jobber. We have to
in
say
India.
this real fast before we end. The WrestleMania marked the end of the fantasy wrestling season. The champion for our league, the WWE league, was Joseph Thorburn, even though he's a huge pile of shit. So, yeah, congrats to him. Let's hear it for him. And then the winner of the NXT league was Pamela Valencia. And
she's my mom, so.
And she dominated. She won by like I think 185 points or something. So, congrats. All right, Joe's still a jobber.
Yes, he is.
Goodbye.